A lot of kids. I have this one kid who has stolen every single one of my band tees. Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, the Violent Femmes. You can't fuck with the Violent Femmes. And every single one of these shirts, okay, they are all, ripped to shreds. Absolutely ripped to shreds. And without fail, every time they wear one of my shirts, one of my band tees, out in public, someone's gonna come up to them and be like, name 3 songs. Rude. I mean, for real, like, how are you gonna passive aggressively insult someone's intelligence while simultaneously gatekeeping music? Ew. But here's the thing, right? It's called dad rock because they've been listening to this shit since they were in utero. You know what I'm saying? When my boy was 2, he would run around singing, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor. It's literally a connection and a touchstone between their childhood and members of their family. It's what they grew up listening to. So yeah, they know the music. But without a doubt, there is a void, I would say over the last decade, in the music industry that can only be filled with some good old rock and roll. I remember one time my best friend and I had found out that AC/DC was playing at the arena. So we drove around for like an hour asking people for pocket change until we came up with enough money. I think it was like $38.50 for us to buy 2 tickets. And we bought them at the door. You can't do that nowadays. You got to pre-order or to sell out. And it's going to cost like, $300 for a ticket. The music has just become kind of inaccessible. You know what I'm saying? Like, we went to shows every weekend. And now it's like it's an event. You save up for it. You plan for it. It's something people do maybe once or twice a year. But we'd also sit around wondering things like, I wonder what David Lee Roth had for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Because rock stars were larger than life. They were inaccessible as people. While the music, we got to go into the arena and interact with our peers and feel the music vibrating through our souls. I could do questionable things to get backstage. Which, you know what, by the way, don't do that. Don't objectify yourself. It's very dangerous and you'll probably regret it. I mean, I don't, because nothing bad ever happened to me. Nowadays, people don't have to wonder what their favorite artists ate for breakfast because they're probably eating it on live stream, posting it to Instagram, right? The people, the artists are much more accessible. And yeah, I think it's really, really cool. Because we don't see them as larger than life. We don't see them anymore as non-people, right? They're human. I mean, I live in Vegas. There's 3 or 4 shows a day, every single day, that's available. If you have the money, right? I don't have the money. But that's never stopped my kid from jumping in the pit. Because you know what they do? They go to house shows. And they go and they see these independent artists that are making independent music, and they fucking rock. Oh my God. See, okay, before you come at me, my child is not a child. They're a full-grown adult, but they're my child, so I call them a child, right? But they, they don't drive, so my husband's still gotta drive them and pick them up from these house shows that we're not invited to because we're too old. But anyway, they rock, and they don't have a small following, but you do have to be in the know to know who they are or where they're playing. They're underground. That's as underground as it comes. Despite the fact that they do have socials and very nice following on socials, and hopefully they're making some money to fund their music from that. And with that being said, I mean, social media is crazy because, like, take TikTok, for instance. There's something like 1 billion accounts on TikTok, and I think, I don't know, some crazy amount. You'll have to look it up. I'm not giving you exact numbers. I'm not a credible source. I'm just a lady on the internet. But I think something like 80% are under 25. But that still leaves 200 million accounts that are full grown ass adults. And we crave something new and something fresh, but something that still kind of lands in that comfort zone and hits us in that feels and gives us that nostalgia, that rock and roll we had as, our youth. I have to say, I have found some really, really kick-ass music through social media. I mean, I wouldn't have known probably like about Greta Van Fleet with their real kind of Blue Oyster Cult, Led Zeppelin-y feel, or this kid that's popping off right now. I think their username is Break. Their track just hits me. It just gives me goosebumps. It's got this real kind of bluesy origin rock feel, Or this other person I just found. They're verified, so they must not be new, but they're new to me. I think it's Cami Kohe, Kohe, I think. I'll tag them below. But they do this real kind of like 90s grunge punk. And oh my God, I'm obsessed. So I really, really think, my opinion is that as Gen Z continues to grow in their careers and really pop off, and as Gen Alpha really finds their passion and their own voice and their own sounds, that we're going to see a rock revival. I really, really feel it in my heart. But, there's still going to be some crunchy old geezers that are going to be all like, that's not rock and roll. Yes, it is. Calm down. Everything's fine. It's just the evolution of sound. Have your Werthers and go sit down, Grandpa. I'm not a musician. I'm not at all musically inclined. But I'm definitely a part of that scene from the 80s and the 90s, right? And for me, it was more than just the music and the bands and the lifestyle. It was about being part of the counterculture. The counterculture it's so much greater than me, and it's not something that started with Gen X. I mean, we took it to the next level, no doubt. But you go back to looking like, the 60s, where there were people and they were protesting and they were using their voices and they were activists and they were taking action to create change, right? And then you go into the 70s and you've got the hippies who were also using their voices, but they were refusing to take part in the culture. And that was their catalyst for change. And for us as Gen Xers, as a part of the counterculture movement, we were all about rebellion and pushing back and raging against the machine. We were taught as children that we were to be seen and not heard. And we came back with, we're going to crank it up to 10 and tell you if it's too loud, you're too old. I think the most visual way you could see our rebellion is definitely through our fashion. We took gender roles and shoved them in the boomers' fucking faces. If you wanted to wear pants, wear the pants. If you wanted to wear the skirt, wear the skirt. Wear the guy liner. Wear the nail polish. Men with long hair, fuck yeah. I mean, clothes are for people. They're for a body. If you want to paint your face, paint your face. If you don't want to paint your face, don't paint your face. You be you and express yourself openly and freely, right? That was our passion. That was our fashion that came through in the music. And it's something that we still see today. Now, they may not have as big of hair as we did, but then they're not also, burning a hole in the ozone to get it. But it's become so normalized now that it's widely accepted, and it's almost mainstream for people, no matter who they are or what gender they identify as. They can wear whatever the fuck they want. And that started with us, and that's beautiful. That's amazing. So don't ever feel irrelevant because of your age. Because if you were a part of the counterculture in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, then you are a part of a huge building block that is all about having this appetite for destruction. And what we're trying to destroy is the oppression. And while that culture may look very different today, it is still prevalent. And it still exists. And it's ongoing. And these younger millennials and Gen Zers and Gen Alphas, like, chef's kiss. Y'all, you all speak up. You take action. You don't take shit. And that is your catalyst of change. And all of us old geezers out here that are going to be like, these damn kids today. Well, you know what? That's what was said about us too. Kids are kids. You're at the normal developmental stage you will be. But you give me hope for the future. The future is going to be better. And I'm really super sorry that the world is a shit show right now. And I definitely take accountability for my generation's part in that. But I know that the world is going to be a more beautiful and wonderful and better place for everybody. Because you exist. You kids. You are the reason that I have hope for humanity. So don't ever change. I love you. Is rock dead? Baby. Baby. As long as someone's out there picking that axe, banging on them drums, then rock will never be dead. That's just my humble opinion. You know, if your take is different, that's valid. Respect to you. But at the same time, I'm Gen X. I don't give a fuck. And you've been watching Gigi Says What Now? And if you've watched this far, maybe you'll take it one step further and tap that screen and all those sweet spots. Until next time, remember, you are valid, you are worthy, and you are loved.